Hello everyone, welcome to another Spooky Month entry. Today we'll be reviewing a Haunting Hour episode. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time, at least reviewing this show in particular. This is one of my favorite shows ever. I love it. It's a little bit more, it's very similar to Goosebumps. The premises are similar, but it's much darker, which is a good thing because Goosebumps was, it had some good episodes, but most of them were just kind of silly. But The Haunting Hour is no, it does have some humor, but for the most part, it is extremely dark. So, yeah. There was even a little disclaimer at the beginning telling, I guess younger kids it was going to be dark. So, yeah, most episodes don't end with happy endings. I kind of like that because it makes it, again, more adult in a way, which is nice. So, yeah, we're going to be reviewing my top 5 episodes. So, slowly, this is my number 5. So, we're going to take a look at Uncle Howee, which is, I believe it's in season 3? It's either season 2 or 3. It's later in the series. But it is definitely a standout episode. The story is pretty basic. It's essentially there's the most I don't know how to describe him. This annoying jerk. This arrogant kid named Jared. He's so unlikable. Oh my word! You just want to punch him in the face. If you've seen the episode, you know what I'm talking about. I hate that kid. He just so he just messed up. But he's a teenager and he's essentially babysitting his little sister Cynthia, who's obsessed with the TV show called Uncle Howee, and that's the name of the episode. And Uncle Howee himself is this weird, eccentric guy that hosts this children's show called Uncle Howee, and it's named after himself. And he's here in the picture, you can see him. And also the little puppet on the right, that's Loomis. It's like the bunny. He's very demented. You'll see if you've seen the episode. So the episode's about 20 minutes long, not too long, but long enough to get a good story out of it. So essentially, Cynthia is obsessed with the show, so she doesn't really do what she's told, and Jared and Cynthia's mother, she works at the hospital, and so she's not able to take care of the kids that much, and so she trusts Jared to take care of Cynthia, and while she's gone. And at first, this seems like a good idea until you learn that Jared is going to ditch his sister to go to the movies with his friends. And that is one reason why you don't have Jared babysit your kids. Because he is just not even trustworthy at all. He's just a jerk and very rude and mean. You'll see. So, again, obviously don't watch this if you haven't seen the episode. So, I don't want to ruin anything. This is going to be spoiler, filled for the most part. So, you've been warned. But most of you have probably seen this by now. But it's a really weird episode. It's not scary, but it's just unsettling. A lot of the things Uncle Howee does, especially at the beginning of the show, or the episode in the show, where he's watching Cynthia and he knows that she's there, and he knows that Jared's there too, and he's like, it's just a little bit of creepy. There's a lot of creepy moments, and subtle, kind of weird moments. Uncle Howee is played by Tom Kenny, who, if you don't know, he is the voice of SpongeBob, and he's done so many animated characters. He doesn't do a lot of live action, but this is one of his few live action roles, which is kind of cool. So that's nice that he was on the show. And he is very wacky as Uncle Howee. Oh my word. He goes between this line of creepy and disturbing and then funny and wacky in a matter of seconds. It's pretty impressive. The guy knows how to be eccentric, which is nice. And I believe he's kind of semi-retired from acting at this point, but back then, or back when the show was being made, he got a chance to be on it, which is cool. It's a shame we never got a sequel to this episode. Most episodes in the Haunting Hour didn't get a sequel. If they did, they were probably special ones. Like, I don't know, Lily D, of course, got a sequel. So that's cool. Um, so it's just a really weird episode. Like, it's funny at times. It's very comedic, obviously, because Tom Kenny is a comedian, but it also is very creepy. Like, just the way that he says things, and essentially he's taking over the. Like, it's weird. The premise is Cynthia's watching the show so much that she's making Uncle Howee come to life, which is really cool. Or I guess Uncle Howee is already coming to life in the series. And so he gets annoyed with the way that Jared is treating Cynthia, and so he literally comes out of the TV and goes into the house and teaches Jared a lesson, which he needs, because that kid is such a brat. Oh my golly. Like, you have to see it. It's so irritating to watch Jared. Like, he's just a bully, and I hate bullies. So that's not helping. But he does get his comeuppance in the end, and that's what matters. And essentially, he gets transformed into a marionette puppet. He gets put into the show that he hates. So that is pretty funny. It's you know what's it's even better. The mom comes home right when Jared gets pulled into the TV of Uncle Howie's world, and she looks at the TV. She's like, "Where's Jared? Cynthia, where's Jared?" And it turns out she looks at the TV, and there's Uncle Howee showing his new friend Jared, and he's waving to Cynthia, and he's just this weird puppet, creepy doll version, and it's just really cool and weird, but still cool. A lot of it is funny. Like, a lot of this episode isn't necessarily scary, but it's spooky enough to be considered a Haunting Hour episode. So it's just a lot of weird moments, like a lot of subtle creepiness to it, which is nice. Because obviously the Haunting Hour is not it's a horror show, so you kind of want some of the horror, which there is some of it. There's a lot of great moments, such as when Uncle Howee pretends to call the police because he cut the phone line, and he's like, "Hello, police department," and he's like really wacky. And there's another scene where Jared falls down the stairs, and Uncle Howie's like, "Oh no, watch out, there's falling vegetables." And it's just really great. He's just like this fun villain. Like, he's a villain, but he's not evil. He just wants to be friends with people, which is interesting. But actually, we don't really know if Uncle Howie's a villain. We just know that he's a guy that does things. But we can assume he's a villain, but he's not evil. Not really. He's just eccentric, very wild character, which is cool. Jared is, I don't really want to talk about him, but I guess I have to. Jared is very annoying. He's very cringeworthy. His acting is terrible. This is one of the episodes where I just laugh at a lot of the acting. It's just, the kid cannot act. Like, you look at the lines that he's delivering, and they're just cringing. Like, I don't know how he got away with the acting. I guess maybe it's supposed to be bad acting, but I don't know. If you've seen the episode, if you're gonna see it, you're gonna notice the horrible acting from him. At least Tom Kenny does a wonderful job. He doesn't act bad, but it's the kid who acts as Jared that's terrible. But that's just my opinion, of course. Cynthia, surprisingly, the actress that played her, she was very young, and she actually won an award, which is pretty cool. She doesn't do that much in the episode. She's not in it that much. Like, she's in it, I guess, for about half of it, and then she disappears because Uncle Howee teleports her away inside the house somewhere, so that Jared has to, basically, Uncle Howee plays a game with Jared. He says, he makes a deal with him, like, if you find your sister in, like, I don't know, a few minutes, then I'll leave you alone, but if you don't, then you'll lose her forever, and then you'll have to face your mom. So that's something. that happens. Spoiler alert, he does not find Cynthia. I think it was rigged, because obviously Cynthia is friends with Uncle Howee, so, you know, that probably helped him. So yeah. Also, this is the only Haunting Hour episode, I believe, to be only indoors. There is no outside shots. Well, I guess there's a couple shots of the house of the outside, but there's nothing like outside that goes on. It's all in the house, which is kind of cool. It gives you that claustrophobic kind of feel a little bit. At least it did for me. Um, but yeah, I love this episode. It's so like wonderfully written. Like a lot of the dialogue is just really great, especially from Uncle Howee. He's just one of the best Haunting Hour villains, if you can call him a villain. Um, so yeah, I like him. He's a great, Tom Kenny did a wonderful job. He's a great character actor. It's a shame that he never got any more roles on The Haunting Hour or any other like live action show. Not too many, but enough. Loomis is pretty cool. He's the sidekick of Uncle Howee. He's very, very disturbing. At least the way that he moves and the way that he talks, it's just really weird. At least I thought. Loomis is probably more of a villain than Howee is, honestly. If you see it, he's just a really weird character. Also, Mr. Clock. I want to give a shout out to Mr. Clock because he's a great, creepy character in the episode. He doesn't appear that much, but when he does, it's pretty cool. He's almost like this black and white character with a clock for a body. It's pretty cool. He's like, tick tock, says Mr. Clock, if you know that line. Yeah, I just love this one. It's a really random episode. It's more funny than scary. It's definitely more funny. Like, if you're showing The Haunting Hour to your kids and you want, like, not a super scary episode and just want, like, a bunch of laughs, then this one is definitely good for you. Although, the ending is extremely dark. So, yeah. That's probably the darkest part of it. The acting is really well done, except for Jared. His acting is terrible. I guess it's just me. Yeah, I like that it takes place inside the house. I like the fact that Uncle Howee just he's a show, and then he comes to life. He drags the piano into Jared's house somehow, and he just teleports inside of his house. It's not explained. It's awesome. I love it. So yeah, the more things are not explained, the better they are, because then you get to wonder. So that's nice. So yeah, I love this episode. I'd probably give Uncle Howee a 10 out of 10. Even the horrible acting doesn't, bring it down. It's always been a classic episode for me. Always one of my favorites. So Uncle Howie's a wonderful Haunting Hour episode. Again, it's not scary, but it's funny and yet creepy. It's hard to explain, but you'll get it once you see it. So, yeah. That's my number 5. That's my number 5 on my list of top 5 episodes. We will continue this series pretty soon. Stay tuned for the 4th one, which will be coming as well. And I hope you like this review. Let me know what you think of The Haunting Hour. Have you seen it? Have you not? What do you think? Leave me your thoughts below. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching this. And stay tuned for more. And I'll see you later. Take care.